Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew, man? We back, baby. We got Dave Chappelle Will Never Stop by that boy Patrick CC. Hey, I'll openly admit, before we did like Dave Chappelle comedy reactions over here, I was not like a Dave Chappelle, like, I wasn't interested, you know what I'm saying? I'll say that. I won't say I'm a fan now. I wasn't a fan then. But my interest level, I was just like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't my cup of tea. It was like comedy. Still, like, his comedy style ain't the comedy style like I like 100% go for. But since we have reacted to him, like, I enjoy and I get his comedy style. You know what I'm saying? I like more of that raunchier,
like
edgy.
Yeah, I do too. But I appreciate his style of comedy as well, though.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I grew for appreciation of it, and I grew to understand it. And now I also understand why people like him. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's also, there's several different styles of comedy.
Right.
And his comedy style, it's some cats. I'll say he top tier in his comedy style. You know what I'm saying? But when you got other people who's top tier in their comedy style, so it's hella comedy styles out there. I think, but of Dave's caliber, he is that top guy. You know what I'm saying? But with the title being Dave Chappelle Will Never Stop, I'm wondering what you mean by this. Because we done seen them trying to counsel Dave plenty of times.
And which direction we about to go?
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you. Can Dave Chappelle be canceled? You can't cancel a man to cancel himself. You know what I'm saying? If you cancel yourself, you can't cancel me, bro. I already did that. So with that being said, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go, man. You want the first part, all you gotta do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
like it with a thumbs up.
We'll highly appreciate that, man. But let's go. Let's see what they talking about, man.
Good comedians will make you laugh. The best comedians will make you laugh at things you are not supposed to laugh at. Iconic comedians will transcend the punchlines, challenge societal norms, transgress established boundaries, and continue to share their thoughts despite an uproar of negative criticism. Dave Chappelle is an iconic comedian, but he did not get there easily. There have been numerous attempts to silence Dave, whether it was a heckler, an angry journalist, or a multi-billion-dollar organization, but Dave was never willing to compromise his integrity. Not for one man, not for $1. His big break in Hollywood was when Universal Pictures bought a movie Dave and Neil Brennan wrote called Half-Baked. It's a silly stoner comedy reminiscent of Jay and Silent Bob that wasn't a huge hit, but the movie did gross $17 million against a $7 million budget and has become a cult classic since. 24-year-old Dave wasn't fully happy with the way the film came out, but he was extremely proud to have his movie on the big screen at such a young age. From there, he started pitching a television show to various networks. Fox was interested, but they worried the show casted too many black people. More specifically, they thought the female star of the show wasn't funny and they wanted Dave to recast her to a white actress. Dave simply denied, because this particular sitcom was based on his life, and he grew up in an all-black household. A few days after that meeting, Variety posted an article that claimed he was playing the race card. Dave said, "This network built itself on black viewers, and what they're saying is white people are narcissistic. They don't want to watch black people. They want to watch themselves. It tells every black artist no matter what you do, you need whites to succeed." Fox claims they were making a light suggestion to add a different perspective, a point of view that allows a larger audience to appreciate it. Most young people in the industry would just accept the request of a major corporation, but Dave was unashamed of his decision and was willing to tell the world exactly how he felt. "I felt like I was beaten up and completely degraded," he said. "It's disgusting, and it made me want to vomit." It pretty much took Dave one bad experience to know this whole Hollywood thing is overrated. To make matters worse, his father was on his deathbed. While traveling back and forth from LA to Ohio, he realized...
You remember, I wonder if the TV show he's talking about, remember, I think it was sometime last year, I ended up finding this YouTube channel that had like all the throwback TV shows. And one of his shows was on there, but it had like a lot of stuff that, you know, like, it might not have aired in your area.
Yeah.
Or it was like a lot of urban TV sitcoms.
Yeah.
That you might have seen or came passing by, but they really didn't get the recognition they like of that popularity scale.
Yeah.
And I
wondering if that's the TV show.
It gotta be, cause it was like early Dave, and Dave was like one of the lead. He was I think he was a photographer, I'm not mistaken, and he had this shop with this white dude, and they would share the shop. You remember?
I can't remember.
I watched a couple episodes of it, and then but it was an interesting show. Yeah. But I was like, I never heard of this show before. But it was a lot of shows on there I was like binge watching and never heard of before.
His father was on his deathbed. While traveling back and forth from LA to Ohio, he realized how much he loved the small town of Yellow Springs. He describes it as something so real in contrast to Hollywood's powerful illusion. Dave purchased a farm out in the town with 3,000 people because he can focus on his family and friends. He can have real, genuine interactions with people who aren't trying to gain something from him. Sadly, his father passed away at the young age of 59. William David Chappelle III was a veteran, college professor, and an organizer in the civil rights movement in Ohio. Although young Dave lost the man he would go to for all of his advice, he knew that his father would want him to stand up and speak out for what he thought was right. Dave was not going to let anyone walk all over him, because Comedy Central was about to try their best at controlling him. Dave was convinced that after his father had passed, he was done with the show business, and he was just going to do stand-up. His first hour-long comedy special, Killin' Them Softly, released on HBO, and many consider this to be one of the best stand-up specials of all time. People knew Dave was a generational talent. He knew it. He could not give up on this dream. He started writing a variety show with various skits and sketches that were personal and relatable to the common man. He knew he had something big, and after a few years in 2003, he decided to pitch a new show titled The Chappelle Show, which got picked up by Comedy Central for 2 seasons. The Chappelle Show is regarded by many as the greatest sketch comedy show in history. Dave would open the show performing stand-up to a live audience and then shift the joke into a pre-recorded sketch. All of his bits were rooted in a great deal of irony, basically conveying the exact opposite of what you would expect, like this employee training video that teaches you exactly how to get fired.
Getting to work.
First of all, never show up on time.
He created characters that would earn die-hard fan bases, like Tyrone Biggums, who was, well...
That's classic. Joe Rogan. You talking about pee about? You remember that was...
Yes.
pretty much just a crackhead. Or Clayton Bigsby, the world's only black white supremacist. Due to his blindness, he didn't know that he was actually black. Sometimes his characters were just over-exaggerated versions of real people, like Lil Jon or Rick James.
I'm Rick James. Enjoy yourself.
Edgy isn't even a good enough word to describe Dave's humor. He was way over the edge with some of these bits. The most shocking of them all was perhaps the Hard R family, a rich suburban white family whose last name is the racial slur.
Morning, niggas.
Why, it's Clifton, our colored milk man.
And it's my favorite family to deliver milk to. The niggas.
The very first episode of Chappelle's Show tackled an extremely risky subject, basically becoming a mission statement for the program. If you don't like this, you won't like anything else. Something like The Chappelle Show will never air on TV ever again, but at the time, people loved it. Now, even in 2004, the mainstream media was against shocking, vulgar, and risky entertainment, but they had a little tolerance. The solution back then was put it on after hours, like after 9 p.m. when the kids are asleep. The Chappelle Show averaged 3.1 million viewers per episode in 2004, just shy of Saturday Night Live's 3.7 million. However, Dave's impact on culture at that time far exceeded SNL. He was a superstar comedian at a time where comedy was missing superstars. Dave's show saved Comedy Central from failing and made them a ton of money. Chappelle...
Do you think any show could be of that essence nowadays? Like, and I'm asking y'all this as well. Do you think we can ever get like anything on the verge? I know Chappelle Show like that, you know what I'm saying, edgy, is totally off limits. Yeah. But even a show like In Living Color, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you know what In Living Color did? They made fun of a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying?
I still love watching In Living Color. Yeah, but
even stuff like that, I I
highly doubt it.
Because even if you did a show like that, you couldn't put it on network television, most definitely.
Nope.
And then any of those subscription channels like Comedy Central, stuff people actually got to pay a little extra for to get those more outside of the basic channels. They wouldn't put them on those networks because they're afraid of the advertisement dollar. And then now you think about it, everybody's going to the subscription-based app. So would they even put it on the apps? I highly doubt it. Reason why? We seen what happened with his stand-up with Netflix. So you think about his stand-up. You see the outrage of his stand-up. Now, let's say we have a comedy sitcom that makes fun of all these different groups and all these different elements. You know what I'm saying?
Though, it's but yeah.
It wasn't, none of it was done out of malice. It was just out of a joke. And everybody was up for the jokes. Now, it's so much this like this culture of this sensitivity culture.
I was like,
from every group out there.
Why now? But everyone is so sensitive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. Like, can't nobody do nothing, say and like you said, it's not out of malice or anything. It's just every little thing is taken out of context. It's crazy. But to answer your question, no, never. Like, we would never get television like this.
And the only thing they consider like skit comedy now that we get is Wildin' Out. Yeah. But Wildin' Out ain't even near on those levels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like they,
it's just
they be kind of raw raunchy, but they still
can never too, but
they'll never be
And I'll say this: the only reason why Nick Cannon can possibly keep that going is because he did come from sketch comedy.
Yeah.
What's the joint? What's the joint? See? All That. Damn. He was on All That.
Yeah.
With Kenan and Kel.
Yeah.
That's where he first got his debut.
Season 2 Uncensored has broken both the first day and 7-day sales records for TV on DVD, with close to 500,000 units sold on its May 24th release date and more than 1.2 million units sold in its first week out in the market. Chappelle Show Season 1 Uncensored, released last year, is the best-selling TV on DVD title, with close to 3 million copies sold. Because of the first 2 seasons' undeniable success, Comedy Central offered Dave a whopping $50 million for a new season, but instead, he walked away. Like many people who are new to the entertainment industry, Dave...
Let me just say this. Like, the entertainment world failed. They failed so like, drastically, trying to go into this trying to force into the new age digital world.
Yeah.
And thinking they can still control the market. Because actually people made more money back in the day when everything was hard copy.
Yeah.
Now, because if you wanted to, you actually had to go buy it. Whether even people were bootlegging, y'all still were making more money back then than y'all will now.
Right.
Because people were so afraid of bootlegs removing, you know what I'm saying, the market as far as financial gain. Y'all can't even make, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about everybody who consume an album nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I got the album. Back in the day, you had to buy it. Now you stream it.
Go and buy.
And you know how many streams people have to get before they...
For it to equal up to whatever.
That one album sold, like, and that's when, like, but that's just my personal, like, from my background, I got issues.
Season, but instead, he walked away. Like many people who are new to the entertainment industry, Dave signed a contract that he didn't fully understand. Of course, he hired a lawyer, but ultimately he knew this show was great for his career and he would make good money. What could possibly go wrong? Dave says he never got paid for the Chappelle Show because the contract said Comedy Central didn't have to pay him. This contract also said that they have the exclusive right to use the name and likeness of the artist in perpetuity throughout the universe in any and all media known or invented in the future. On top of
boy, that threw out the universe. That's
baby.
If y'all ain't never looked at contracts, bro, which I have, I looked at several like real like legal contracts that artists and the entertainment business have signed. They fuck a lot, bro. I cannot remember. So, like a lot of people don't know my major is entertainment business, like 100% from the music, marketing, management. I have background in all that, but with the like one of my classes was contract and legal issues. It was my teacher. She was a lawyer. She's an entertainment lawyer, And she's worked with big popular acts. I mean, like some big names. She really didn't want to disclose every client she had, but she had a lot of big clients. But she was showed it was this rock band, and it was a popular like late 90s rock band, one of the big ones. And we read I said, damn, they were getting fucked like a mug. I was like, wow. And they had to get a lawyer to try to fight for like a lot of stuff. And I was just like, but they signed the contract.
They signed it though.
Because they made everything look good all the way up to, like, say for the contract was 7 pages. Mm-hmm. Just say for instance. But within the first 5 pages, everything looked good. But it was this one sentence in there that kind of fucked the whole first 5 pages. And the next 2 pages, that's what the real contract was. And if you ain't really understand what that one sentence meant,
if you're not comprehending word for word, verbatim, what's being said, one word can void everything else that was said.
And when she showed us that, she said it's like the tree. That's the reason why you most definitely need a lawyer and somebody who's experienced and understands to really dissect and read over this stuff. Like you might take, hey, I know a lawyer, but they a criminal lawyer. They ain't gonna understand an entertainment lawyer.
They can probably give you a little insight and point you in the right direction, but you really need someone that
specializes in that. And the stuff she showed us,
that's crazy.
A lot of people used to get screwed up.
Perpetuity throughout the universe in any and all media known or invented in the future. On top of them literally owning him, Dave just straight up didn't like the fame and attention. He just liked comedy. But even that was getting ruined. One night while he was performing in Sacramento, California, he walked off the stage after berating his audience for constantly shouting, "I'm Rick James, bitch," which had become a catchphrase from the popular Rick James sketch on his show. Stand-up is the most important thing I do, and because I'm on TV, you make it hard for me to do it, he said. The show is ruining my life, Chappelle told the crowd. Besides requiring him to work 20 hours a day, it has made him a star, which has resulted in the inability of fans to treat him as an individual. So when Comedy Central offered him $50 million, it came with stipulations. He had to get approvals on certain jokes. He didn't have full creative control, and they worked him like a dog. It wasn't worth the money. So one day, he just walked off set and moved to South Africa, desperate to get as far away from Hollywood as possible. In response, Comedy Central ran a smear campaign on him, saying that he was crazy and on drugs. In May 2005, Comedy Central began promoting the anticipated debut of Chappelle's Show Season 3. One day later, the channel announced that the production on the show had been unexpectedly suspended. Then 1 week later, every news outlet reported that Chappelle had checked into a mental health facility in South Africa, perpetuating the narrative that he was mentally unstable. Some reports said he was even smoking crack.
I was freaked out, man, with the fame thing and being called crazy and drug addict and all these things. Scared me. You know, being treated that way. Like I'm not a person anymore. You say this shit about me in front of my children, and you know, who the f*** do these people think they are? And they don't know what happened. You know,
Dave's exit from the $50 million deal was one of the most profound statements in pop culture history. He was already mega famous, but ironically, this exit made him even more famous. One 2006 article said, "These days, if Dave Chappelle merely catches a cold, it winds up in the media or on the internet." He fired back, saying he was not on drugs and he was not crazy. In fact, he was the most level-headed person out there, denying money for his sanity. "I'm not in a mental facility. Everyone around me says, 'You're a genius, you're great, that's your voice.' But I'm not sure they're right." You hear so many voices jockeying for position in your mind that you want to make sure you hear your own voice. So I figured, let me just cut myself off from everybody, take a minute and pull a Flintstone, stop a speeding car by using my bare feet as the brakes. Hollywood just couldn't fathom that someone who became famous would choose to abandon that lifestyle. He did make a short reappearance at the 48th Grammy Awards where he received a standing ovation. Right in front of the entire industry, Dave told them how he didn't want to be there.
The only thing harder than leaving show business is coming back.
Later that evening, he went to an after-party held at the home of the legendary artist Prince. Instead of talking to Mariah Carey, Common, or industry powerhouses, he sat in a chair on the back patio, only conversing with people who wanted to. He looks like he is hiding from his peers, hiding from the attention, hiding from the part of himself that is a major star. Dave said, "This ain't really my thing." After that night, Dave realized it was time to disappear, and he did just that. And
because people fail to realize, like, what really comes to this entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And when you really like start like moving and grooving, and it just like, I'll say that's the reason why, like me, even like when I graduated, like I was like, I went to school for this degree. I got all this knowledge. I got a lot of experience while in college doing stuff I was doing. I said, but I really don't like the entertainment business because it has so much fakeness within it.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I was cool with like saying, all right, I'm gonna just go get me a regular job instead of taking an internship opportunity. I had, you know what I'm saying, professors came up to me when I was with you before and said, hey, I got this job offer.
Yeah.
Will you be willing to move to California? And I was like, I don't want to do the fake industry shit. You know what I'm saying? And I decided to like...
Because it is a lot of fakeness and a lot of people want you to kiss their ass.
Bro.
And I'm just like...
When people find out like you doing certain things, you making moves, you move, that's when you like really see, you just like... Because it happened to me because when I was in college, I was doing a lot. I was intertwining with people that's owned in the industry now. And then when people start seeing, oh, you doing this, you doing it.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, now people want to know your name, and let's link up, let's exchange contacts, want to add you on Facebook and stuff. You just like, bro, we've been in class all semester, bro. I was just always the quiet dude in class. Like, I network when I network. Like, I build organic relationships with people.
Facts.
I don't want to have those fake, you know what I'm saying? And like Drake said, ain't no friends in the industry.
Yeah, and I mean, that's real. Because if somebody can't see you to like, oh, I can use you, not like you'll be beneficial for something, but I can actually use you for my own benefit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and no. And the saying, like, what it really is, you are as good as what somebody can give out of you. Mm-hmm. Like, that's literally your usage for the industry is you are only as good as what people think they can get out of you.
And it's so messed up because it's like when you think about it, it's like, dang, that's what I wanted to do. Like, that's something that I was actually interested in. But at the same time, it's like, it's either that or lose my sanity, my peace. Like, and I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to choose yourself at the end of the day.
After that night, Dave realized it was time to disappear. And he did just that. And nobody really heard from him for many years.
What did you do for those 10 years?
It was a humble existence. I had young children. I was raising my kids. I was living a suburban life. And then every once in a while, I get this feeling like I'm the funniest guy. I got to get out there. And I would like fly to Denver, do a week in Denver or something. And that's when you would read I was doing like these 6-hour shows. I performed like I was desperate for it. I loved it.
Yeah.
He rode across the country on a motorcycle, focused on raising his children, maintained good standing relationships with his friends. He lived an extremely normal life, just like me and most of you watching this video. Dave would only make selective appearances from 2005 to 2016. He had a few random stand-up performances here and there. One of them even broke a world record. A 6-hour and 7-minute set at the Laugh Factory became the longest comedic performance in history. He performed at the Oddball Comedy Tour in 2013, doing large arenas around the country. In Hartford, Connecticut, he was booed and heckled during his entire set. Until he left the stage saying this crowd was the worst one he had seen in his whole life. This bomb made Dave realize he was rusty, and he needed to get back to being funny again. So in 2014, he made a grand comeback by headlining 10 nights at New York City's iconic Radio City Music Hall. The buzz surrounding his return grew as he was interviewed on various late-night talk shows. Dave rocked the sold-out crowds every single night, selling over 60,000 tickets in total. These unforgettable shows marked his official return to the spotlight after his prolonged absence. Dave achieved legendary status just from his Comedy Central show and one stand-up special. The comedy community as a whole was honored to have him back. He hosted Saturday Night Live during election weekend when Trump won in 2016.
I say this, I think that booing kind of like took a humbling hold to him. It's like, okay. Because it was like, I ain't been in this environment in a while.
Like you said, I'm rusty. And
I'm rusty.
It can light a fire up, you know.
Yeah, let me put some, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all think I ain't shit no more.
All right, let me show y'all who got the juice.
Donald Trump, he did it. He's our president. I feel bad saying it. I'm staying in a Trump hotel right now. I don't know if he's gonna make a good president, but he makes a swell hotel suite, I'm gonna tell you that. Housekeeping comes in the morning and cleans my room, and I just, hey, good morning, housekeeping. Grab a big handful of pussy and say, you know. Boss said it was okay.
Yeah.
Citizens feared that the new president was going to destroy this country. Dave was skeptical, but ended his monologue with this message.
I'm wishing Donald Trump luck, and I'm going to give him a chance. And we, the historically disenfranchised, demand that he give us one too. Thank you very much.
Netflix announced that they would be hosting Dave for 3 specials, in which he would be receiving $20 million for each one. In a way, this can be seen as making up for the trouble he went through with Comedy Central. The Age of Spin was released on Netflix in 2017 and was met with good reviews. Months later, while headlining at Radio City Music Hall, he made multiple jokes about the transgender community. One in specific talks about Trump banning trans people from serving in the US military, in which Dave pokes fun and says that ISIS would be horrified to see trans women storming at them. Chappelle says he doesn't understand trans people, but doesn't think that disqualifies them from being a human being that deserves a life with dignity and happiness and respect. He ended by arguing that sometimes he thinks the only reason all of us are talking about transgenders is because white men want to do it. If it was just black people and Mexicans like, hey y'all, we feel like girls inside, they'd be like, shut up, no one asked you how you felt. Dave received a lot of criticism, with many citing that it doesn't matter he is joking because they are rooted in bigotry and overgeneralizations, or they say he shouldn't joke about a topic he is uneducated on. This back and forth just perpetuated more jokes and commentary from Dave. It became a bulk of his material.
You know who hates me the most? The transgender community.
Despite the controversy, his comeback was receiving all the praise. In 2017, Chappelle received a Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album for his first 2 specials, The Age of Spin and Deep in the Heart of Texas, and later that year would go on to receive an Emmy Award and another Grammy for Outstanding Variety Special for Equanimity. He also won the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, but it was in 2019 where the backlash reached new heights. Sticks and Stones released on Netflix in 2019, and Dave didn't hold back on this one. Me Too, gun control, opioid crisis, cancel culture, and of course the transgender community. He covered every hot button topic in one special. Sticks and Stones.
Yeah, he did, man. We reacted to that special, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I get, it's not something I can speak on, but my thing is, somebody, no matter what, instead of trying to attack somebody on whatever thing it is, whatever disagreement you have with them, also try to have a communication with some people too. You know what I'm saying? And see,
like have the conversation,
open dialogue, and just,
or educate instead of just like you said, or just attacking or whatever the case may be.
Just try to see where they're coming from and let them know where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of things. Some type of common ground. That's even when people hop in the comment sections. A lot of people, when they hop in your comment sections, it's either one or two things. People want to be positive or they want to be super negative. It's never to find a common ground or possibly educate you on something that you might have not spoken correctly on. But a lot of people go in the comment section to attack, or they either to congratulate you or to attack you. It's never a middle common ground. And then when somebody comes back at you because you're attacking them and they're feeling attacked, so if they attack you back, now it's, oh, you coming at me left way. No, you came at me first left way. And so it's only right for me to defend myself. But if you come at me on a better tone or a better place of trying to correct, you know what I'm saying? Or just inform, or just be like, hey, I think you should really look at it this way, you know what I'm saying?
It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Even when you writing, you can tell people are like disrespectful, or their tone is very condescending. Like, let's pipe it down.
Or their energy is low.
Yeah.
A shift. This performance felt way more like a piece of social commentary rather than stand-up comedy, at least in the first half. Now, I think this goes without saying, but comedy is extremely nuanced. Cherry-picking clips and bits can often remove the necessary context that sells a joke. NBC said that today's context-free Twitter culture is preventing Dave from thriving. You're either fighting President Donald Trump or you're a MAGA apologist. You're either believe all women or you're anti-Me Too, and that black and white world is not one in which Dave Chappelle has ever operated, particularly now. Many people read headlines and tweets, then form opinions without actually digesting the material. However, even those who did fully digest the special still were not impressed. Sticks and Stones registers as a temper tantrum, the product of a man who wants it all: money, fame, influence, without much having to answer to anyone. Forbes chimed in with, Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones tries too hard to offend. Comedians have always made jokes about current societal standards and political climates. Discussing societal issues mixed in with quips and bits make their performances relatable, but not too serious. Dave and many people in defense of comedy argue that nothing is off limits when it comes to jokes, but opposers pick and choose what is allowed to be joked about. At this point, we're re-entering a familiar cycle. Chappelle releases a special on Netflix, he says something incendiary, it's quoted back to him in a headline, and Chappelle reacts to the criticism in another Netflix special. But this isn't necessarily a
Which ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Hey, if you want to hear my response, I'm gonna get paid for my response.
Yeah.
I'm not going to a radio and them asking me, oh, how you feel, just so you can get your ratings off of it. No, I'm gonna get
or
my
back and forth on social media.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
I'm gonna get at that point. Once you get to that level, get paid for every thought and opinion you have. Quit, like, I'm not going to a radio station. I'm not going, like, to interview. I'm not finna be on Twitter typing at you. None of that. Like, you gonna pay me for my thoughts, and I'm gonna just put it in the special, and you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get paid for it. Like, that's new content. You know what I'm saying? Because most comedians, when it comes down to their content, it stems around what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, it's a lot of comedians who have passed away that if they were comedians right now, y'all would 100% cancel them, ready to throw them away, trash them. From Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor, Red Fox. Like, come on now. Like, it's a lot of them that has saw and conquered in their generation, that if this generation of social media, y'all will be ready to hang them. You know what I'm saying? For half of the jokes they said.
That's crazy, but yeah.
But all those comedians of like Dave Chappelle age looked up to those comedians.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where they. But now that's the reason why a lot of these comedians nowadays really ain't that good, because y'all too worried about, well, I don't want this group getting mad at me. I don't want that group getting at me. I'm trying to walk this thin line.
Or even if they are somewhat good, they still tread real light, because they don't want,
to piss nobody off.
Yeah. Step on nobody's toes.
thing. A comedian is not absolved from criticism, and critics don't have to think someone is funny. This cycle is a product of free speech, and any sane human understands both sides are allowed and should speak their mind. One person who knows that the most is Dave Chappelle, who boycotted his own show because he felt like it. In 2020, Viacom, the owner of The Chappelle Show, licensed the show to Netflix and HBO Max without providing Dave with any compensation and without making him aware of the deal. He was aware that it was legal in the court of law, as it was stated in the contract he signed during the show's initial negotiations, but he saw the move as unethical. In a video released by Dave titled Unforgiven, he would ask his fans to boycott the show on HBO until he was paid, citing the ethical obligations of Viacom to pay him what he was owed. Since he had such a good relationship with Netflix, he was furious they did this to him because of how badly Comedy Central treated him.
So you know what I did? I called them and I told them that this makes me feel bad. And do you want to know what they did? They agreed that they would take it off their platform just so I could feel better. That's why I with Netflix.
Dave and his fans praised Netflix for removing the show based on his feelings, but they were shocked when members of the trans community tried to get Dave's special removed because he hurt their feelings. The Closer was his 2021 Netflix special where he again made jokes about trans people, as well as anti-gay jokes and defending TERFs. He stated in the special that gender is a fact. In the special's closing moments, he tells a story about his friend Daphne Dorman, who was a trans woman and stand-up comedian, that defended Dave from criticism in his previous special, Sticks and Stones. Punching down requires you to consider yourself superior to another group. Dave Chappelle doesn't consider himself better than me in any way. He isn't punching up or punching down. He's punching lines. That's his job, and he's a master of his craft. Dave claimed that Daphne Dorman received so much hate from her own community that she died by suicide 6 days after the special. Right-wing media went into a frenzy saying the trans community are hypocrites and will destroy their own people. However, there is little evidence that supports Daphne's expiration has anything to do with hate. Back in 2019, that tweet had just 12 replies. Another tweet supporting Chappelle had 9. The Instagram post in which she declared her friendship with Chappelle doesn't have any critical critical replies. Comments on her Facebook post announcing that she was opening for Chappelle are uniformly positive. So are the ones on Reddit after she posted about it there. She doesn't appear to have said anything on Twitter or Facebook about receiving abuse. Her suicide note doesn't mention bullying, nor do any of the obituaries written after her death. Because of this, many people thought Dave was using someone's death to his own benefit, and the trans community were tired of Dave. Netflix employees interpreted the closer as
I can see where they're going with that. I can. But honestly, we don't know what kind of conversation they possibly have had behind closed doors.
Yeah, honestly, I can't see where no one is going because I don't know, like you said, the degree of their relationship, what conversations they've had, information he may know that don't nobody else know. So,
and honestly, we don't know what like private DMs she might have received.
Yeah, we don't know
private emails she might have received. We just going on what's publicly there. And to be honest, we all got social media accounts. We can all block, delete, and hide stuff that's negativity. Yeah, and so you don't show negativity ever on your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because anytime there's always a block, delete, and remove.
But regardless of whatever the reason was, definitely rest.
Yeah, that's sad though.
Yeah, that's sad.
Hate speech, and 65 employees participated in a walkout in protest of the company. The protest garnered a lot of support online. However, it was generally unsuccessful because Netflix has stood behind Dave, kept his specials up, and continued to work with him in the future. Then things escalated to physical violence against Dave.
Make some noise for hip-hop history.
Isaiah Lee was the name of the suspect who later admitted why he attacked the comedian.
I identify as bisexual, and I wanted him to know what he said was triggering. I wanted him to know that next time, he should consider first running his material by people it could affect.
Isaiah Lee has also been charged with attempted murder after stabbing his roommate. In a last effort to take down Dave, a venue in Minneapolis canceled a sold-out show of his hours before the doors were set to open. We believe in diverse voices and the freedom of artistic expression, but in honoring that, we lost sight of the impact this would have. The event was moved to a smaller venue in the same city and sold out 2 shows back to back. It seemed like the more backlash Dave got, the more it would ultimately help his career. The Closer was nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Variety Special. To close out the year, Dave took the stage on SNL and delivered the show's opening monologue. And yes, he faced even more controversy. Recently, Kanye West had went on an anti-Semitic rant on social media, to which Dave responded with,
I denounce anti-Semitism in all its forms. And I stand with my friends in the Jewish community. And that, Kanye, is how you buy yourself some time. You know, the rules of perception. If they're black, then it's a gang. If they're Italian, it's a mob. But if they're Jewish, it's a coincidence, and you should never speak about it.
Despite Dave obviously disagreeing with Kanye, his jokes entertain the possibility that some of what Ye said holds an ounce of truth, which led to even more critics calling Dave anti-Semitic. He ended the monologue with a message.
It shouldn't be this scary to talk about anything. It's making my job incredibly difficult. And to be honest with you, I'm getting sick of talking to a crowd like this. I love you to death. And I thank you for your support. And I hope they don't take anything away from me. Whoever they are.
Some people think that Dave...
And that's the thing, man. Nowadays, bro, like, no matter what the subject matter is, no matter what the topic, no matter what the platform is, it's like you gotta tread lightly on what you speak about and what you say, even when it's come down to YouTube. A lot of YouTubers do not honestly voice their true, honest opinion because they are afraid of what might come. Because if a lot of people can be open, honestly true, I really feel like this platform would be a lot better. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people who get mad and type in the comments about whatever you say, especially those who like to be negative and say stuff, a lot of them people cannot say it to your face. Mm-hmm. If they ever saw you, they 100% they're going to say, I'm a fan of you, or I came across your video, but then you find out, you like, but why you say that? I was just mad at, you know what I'm saying?
Or a lot of people, I was just trolling. I was just, because they want this uproar, this reaction out of you. And I don't know. Yeah. People are weird, but.
But if you say something bad, now you're the problem because you're the entertainer. and you shouldn't be able to say it. But at the end of the day, we all are humans. So same way you can say something, I can say something back as well. And same way I shouldn't get offended by what you say because it's criticism. Don't get offended by what I said to you because I'm critiquing to what you said to me. So, but everybody can't tell you what they dish out, though.
Legacy has been tainted by hardcore transphobia or trying too hard to be controversial. Even though his comedy has always towed the line as to what is socially acceptable, Dave has benefited greatly from free speech. He has gained hundreds of millions of dollars and diehard fans around the world, so it's only fair if his opposition can also speak up and voice their opinions and disagreements with his performances. All attempts to silence Dave have been proven unsuccessful, because no matter what, he will always get right back on that stage and speak his mind.
But I'll say this in defense of, there has been people out of those communities that have spoke out and have spoken on the behalf of Dave and have said they would like to have a sit-down conversation with Dave or they would like to do this. And then you will see a lot of people from those same communities be like, they don't speak for us. You know what I'm saying? But those people are from your community, so... Same vice versa with no matter what community you've come from. It's
like, what is it going to take? Like, say for instance, like you said, they reached out or whatever, said they wanted to sit down, and he agreed. Yeah. But then you will have the people in that community be like, well, or if they say something that they don't agree with, or they feel like you should have said it a different way, or did this, or I would have did that. They don't speak for. They don't. Well, who I need to go up and speak? Who the head bitch in charge? Who I need to speak to? Like,
and that's like any social group, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it's like no matter what you say nowadays, especially we done seen it so much nowadays. It's so many groups nowadays. It's like 100% off limits to even speak on them. Yeah. And it's just like, all right, but those same groups feel the right that they can speak on other groups, and it's multiple groups. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when it's right is right, wrong is wrong, and where's that line at? Like somebody needs to come and say, "Hey, this is the line we can't cross." We need some instructions with this shit nowadays because no matter what people do, no matter what people say, they can try to be bigging themselves up. Yeah. Somebody's still gonna find a way to be offended by what you say,
no matter what it is. And then in this sense, with people feeling like now, the day and age we living in now, that he tries too hard to be controversial or told whatever, when he has always, all my life that I've been watching Dave, he has always been that type of comedian. You know what I'm saying?
We got some old Dave Chappelle reactions on the channel. If you really want to see how raw and edgy he was, he has always been. He's that always person.
Been, but it's going back to the society that we live in now.
But you want me to tell you what's so crazy? They don't want him saying anything about nothing else besides what he was talking about on Dave Chappelle show, which was the ghetto. Yeah. As long as you're making fun of your people and the less fortunate of your people, you know what I'm saying? It's cool.
Or just like, or just the urban community or people as a whole, whatever. You know, long as you like doing that or making jokes or turn down or whatever, it's cool. Like no one says anything. Everyone, you know, it's funny. But you can't say anything else. Don't you say anything else about it. You know what I'm saying?
No matter
it's just kind of like,
you know what I'm saying?
And for him, I'm pretty sure, because for me, hell, it would be draining. Like, okay, at this point, I don't want to do it no more. Because like, I've always, you know, now y'all are trying to.
Like, I'll say this, like, when it comes down to, like, certain, like, when it really do boils down to it, it's sometimes just your common sense with a lot of stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, even no matter who it is, you know what's, like, kind of common sense, what's right and what's wrong. Because that's just your subconscious telling you, like, what's right and what's wrong. If your subconscious tell you, hey, you shouldn't be saying this, like, all right. But everything is not wrong to speak on. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I don't know. It's hard to word it without somebody getting offended by what you're going to say.
And that's the thing. And I already know someone is going to be offended. It's kind of like you can't say shit. Like, if you're not praising someone or whatever the case may be. Because my thing is, it's just like, you sit up here, we can have a conversation, you can whatever. But if you're not saying exactly what someone wants you to say or how they want you to say it, then you're automatically offending someone, or oh, you're being this, or oh, you're this, or you're that. And it's kind of like nothing you can do or say. Like I said, the society we live in now, nothing you can do or say will ever like be okay. Yeah. Because someone is going to find something, you know, which is sad. But nothing comes from like a bad place or like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just like having a conversation, but whatever.
And what happened to Sticks and Stone won't break my bones, bro? You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why he called it Sticks and Stones.
Yeah, that's why I was,
Sticks and Stones might break my bones, but you know what I'm saying? Sticks and Stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Like,
I used to say that all the time to my brother.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But dude attacking him, he hasn't physically attacked any of y'all. Y'all don't have to tune into him. Like, literally, bro, you had to buy a ticket to go to his show.
And that's
you gave him money to go attack him, and now you finna go to jail.
Yeah. And that's the thing with a lot of things where people like attack people or say something. I'm like, well, you already know kind of how this person is, or kind of maybe how they are, or what they're about to probably deliver in a sense. Like, you made the decision
let me
to
also
tune
say
in
this.
Or show up. Or
even when it comes,
I'm not support nobody if I don't support you.
Even when it comes down to like YouTube videos, if you get to a point where you just don't agree with someone, how about just turn on other channels, other stuff on YouTube? You don't have to, I don't like what you just said there, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't like that post. You can easily unsubscribe. If you're following somebody, you can unfollow them. Yeah. You can block them. You can hide them. You will never have to come across them ever again. You don't have to, I don't agree with you.
There's a lot of things I've watched or read and I don't agree with. I will never fix myself to attack you as a person because we all fall short somewhere. Like, so, or you have your own opinion. You're entitled to that. That's your opinion. Okay, I may have something different. I'm going to either keep it moving, never say anything, and I'm just like, it is what it is.
When it comes down to like a video I disagree with.
Tear you down because we have different opinions.
When it comes down to a video I might come across and I disagree with, first thing I'm like, y'all dumb. And I click off and I go to another video. So even with a YouTube, even with a comedy special on Netflix, man, Netflix got hella other shows. You don't have to click on Dave Chappelle comedy if you don't support it. If you clicking on it, you're just supporting it. It goes into the algorithm that you.
I just hate that things are so like one-sided nowadays. I just wish people would show people more grace. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on.
Hey man, with that being said, man, make sure y'all spam us up in the comments. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts and opinions about it in the comment section down below,
Please
man.
Do.
But as always, y'all know how it go, man. I do go with the name DJ McKid. This is. We are.
Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar, 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 dollar.